Herzlich willkommen beim Gotta Go Heal Podcast. Ich bin Hannah und das ist dein Safe Space für echte Heilung und Transformation. Hier sind wir endlich real. Lass uns gemeinsam wachsen, neue Wege gehen und die beste Version von uns selbst werden. Bereit für den nächsten Schritt? Let's go heal. Hello and welcome back to the Gotta Go Heal podcast. I'm so happy that you tuned in again for today's episode. It's gonna be a special one and an episode we wanted to do for a longer time now. And today feels right to talk about it. And yeah, I'm happy to have you back, Claudia. Welcome back.
Welcome back. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah.
And it's an honor to talk about this topic.
Yes. Yeah. We were sitting at breakfast today and we were talking about feminine and masculine energy, and we sat there for 2.5 hours. And yeah, sometimes because we were just talking about how we wish that we have a microphone on all the time because our conversations are just so juicy and there's so much,
Wisdom.
I mean, not to brag, but there's so much wisdom in them. And then sometimes I worry if for the podcast episode, there's still going to be so much wisdom, but there is. So today's topic is about masculine and feminine energy and like what it is. We're going to briefly talk about what it is and yeah, like how it shows in the dynamic of a man and a woman, but how it's also in bisexual relationships and yeah, just in dating, but also in business. And yeah, we'll see what else we're going to cover.
It is such an underestimated topic.
Yeah.
And very important to talk about because it relates to everything in our life.
Yeah.
This is the wholeness, feminine and masculine, the plus and the minus, the sun and the moon, the fire and the water.
Yeah.
Opposing energies, but when they come together, they complete each other.
Yeah.
And it's important to talk about it from the healthy perspective and the toxic perspective, because we have toxic and healthy feminine and masculine energies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
let's
start from maybe the basics.
Yeah. And we talked about at breakfast, like there's this, we always say it's the wounded feminine or the wounded masculine, and then also like the toxic. But probably we should start at what that even is. I feel like over the last years, like 2 years, 1 year, it's been more talked about on social media. There's like, oh, you need to be in your feminine energy. But then there's also this backlash that is like, oh, but then it's this, do you know the term treadwife? What is it? A treadwife? That is like how it used to be in the 50s or whatever, where the woman is in the kitchen, needs to cook. Like this is on the other side of the spectrum. But it still fits into this topic of masculine and feminine energy. But it's important to say that it's just from an energy perspective. It doesn't have anything to do with the gender. And that everybody, like every human being, has masculine and feminine energy within them. But maybe we will start with what is a typical masculine energy? What are the, how do you say, like what
characteristics?
Exactly, the characteristics of masculine energy, and what are the characteristics for feminine energy?
I think I would like to start from, I'm going to give you the spiritual perspective on that.
We love that.
I think we should start from this. It's going to be very, very much spiritual and what I feel from the energetic level, how this dynamic works in relationships, but also within us, because every person has this feminine and masculine side. They need to come together in order to create wholeness, in order to complement each other, so that we can have this experience, this whole new experience in this current reality. And what I mean by that is that feminine essence. So, for example, we are women. So our feminine energy is naturally built. It's naturally, it was given us naturally. But with the masculine, we also have it within us, but sometimes we have to activate it. So the feminine energy is very nurturing, very soft, very delicate. It's very much connected to this intuition that we have, to leaning with the flow. Just, it is what it is. I am here. Feminine energy is all about I am, and I don't have to prove anything to anyone. I am this goddess. I am this queen. And I just like observe and I receive. Feminine receives. Feminine energy is also very emotional, can be extremely chaotic, But it's extremely powerful because of this chaos, but it's extremely creative because it can mix this chaotic and also nurturing and creative energy to create beauty and life in this world. That's that's the feminine here is to create. And men also have the feminine side because they also need to be able to nurture themselves or to create, but it's not their main trait.
Yeah. So how would you then say, because like we said in the beginning, and people keep, like, it's important to say that every human being has both energies in them. But would you then say that a man, if you identify as a man, does he have more masculine energy, or does he need to be a little bit more in the masculine energy? I mean, he has both, but is it as a woman we have more feminine naturally, or how would you explain that?
It varies. It's different. But I would say that most men naturally have this masculine energy that is like they work from or they act from.
Yeah.
We can see men that are more in their feminine. Especially this shows up in gay couples, for example. Then we can see this dynamic because we have same sex, and then one person always needs to be more feminine, the other always masculine, because there needs to be balance.
Exactly.
If both energies are masculine, there would be no balance whatsoever. There would be no match.
What would you say happens when there's a mismatch, or like both of, like, let's say in a relationship?
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because you have same energy, so plus and plus. There's no match.
Yeah.
They will not attract each other. They will not magnetize each other. So there's always this one energy, one person that needs to be a little bit more in their feminine and the other person more in their masculine. And when we talk about masculine energy and what it is to be in your masculine energy, because as female, we also have this masculine side, because I mean, we need to be like able to provide for ourselves sometimes, right? So the masculine is all about logic. It's all about decision making. It's such a strong and solid energy. Masculine is focused on providing, on doing, on giving. So feminine receives, but the masculine gives. And masculine very often focuses on decision making, on being able to provide safety and stability. And when these two forces come together, they create wholeness. So within us, for example, we know how to nurture naturally, female, like women. We know how to nurture naturally, but we also need that masculine force to come and provide safety for us.
Yeah.
So if you are a single person and then you provide for yourself, you have a very active masculine energy. But when you open up to a man in a relationship, in this more romantic dynamic, then you probably have to go more into your feminine in order to allow space for the masculine to enter into your life. So then you can have more balance within this dynamic.
Which is very hard, I think, for women, I would say, especially, let's say, for example, me, I've been single for, not too long, over a year, but it's this, you have to look out for yourself. You have to, let's say, even if you want to create a business, like there's a lot of masculine energy, but then there's probably the challenge for you. It's okay, how can I sink into that feminine energy? Because also during the last centuries, like women, the feminism, we were taught to like stick up for yourself, and we're independent, and that's necessary. Like that's very good, and it was necessary, but then it's still, like you said, in relationships, like we still have to tap into the feminine more flowy. So how would you then say, especially if someone, let's take me as an example, because I'm very much in my masculine, and now we're here in Bali. So, and we're like going on dates and stuff and trying to figure out this whole, like we see it as an experiment. And like, how would you then tell me to, okay, like what are the steps to tap into my feminine more? How can I embrace it more? Especially when you come from this overly masculine, probably wounded, toxic masculine energy. I need to do this, and I'm very like type A and perfectionistic, which is also very much masculine from the head, thinking, needing to control, because the feminine is like going with the flow, which is the opposite of control.
Yes.
Are there any ways to tap into the feminine even without a relationship, maybe? Like, how can you do this on a regular basis?
Because feminine is so nurturing, it needs the nurturing. So you need to take care of yourself. To be in your feminine, you always need to look inside of you. Direct your energy towards you, not towards man, towards the outside reality, because this is the masculine energy. Masculine always looks for answers outside. Feminine always focuses on herself. So to be more in your feminine essence, it's very easy. You just like look after yourself more. Massages, maybe go and get your nails done. Do shopping, take care of what you eat, how you look, do the inner work.
Yeah.
Because men
that's
feel
a good
it.
point.
Masculine energy feels it. He feels it from the distance and he loves it. Because when a girl's focusing on herself, he's like, oh, she's interesting.
Yeah.
I want it.
Yeah.
I really want it. Like this is different. Because when you see a girl who's like looking for a man's attention all the time, she's not attractive because they have nothing to pursue.
Yeah.
But when there is a juicy girl, she's self-sufficient. She doesn't need anything because she is. She is.
Yeah.
She doesn't chase. She doesn't do anything.
Just is.
She doesn't come and I don't know, do the work that men are responsible for. For example, approaching them, right? She just sits. She's like sitting. She doesn't do anything. And maybe you want to talk about the situation at the beach, about the girl. She was just like sitting, and then all of the guys were approaching her.
Oh yeah. It was funny because I was at this beach cafe, and there was a girl who was laying in the sun, and she was just like sunbathing, like getting a tan. She was very committed to get. She was very tanned already, but she was committed to be even more tan. And then I was just like sitting there and observing. I wanted to journal, but I was observing. And then she was just laying there, and then there were these bean bags, and then this table, and then she was on one, and there was another bean bag next to her, which was free. And so like I was there for 2 hours, and I think 3 men approached her. Like the first thing they said, oh, is this beanbag free? And she was like, yeah, it's obviously like it's free. But she couldn't care less. She was sitting there. She had her earphones in. She was listening to music. She was just like, I just want to lay in the sun. And then I noticed that the guys wanted to talk to her because that was the reason why they even wanted that free beanbag. But she didn't care. And with the third guy, then she started to sit up, and because she was about to leave, they started talking. But she wasn't in this energy of, okay, now I'm going to take my bikini on and whatever, I'm going to sunbathe, and hopefully everybody's like talking to me. Let's see which guys are coming to me. She was just like, I'm going there for myself. I'm going there to take care of my body or like do what I want. I just want to listen to some music and lay there. And then she exuded this energy of like, okay, I'm not here to prove anything. I'm just here to be, like you said, to be.
Because from the energetic perspective, what happened, she was whole. She was just like sitting there. So she was very much in her feminine energy. She wasn't doing anything. And we as female women, we activate that masculine instinct when we are. We can control it. This is so interesting. We can manipulate it. Yes, we can manipulate it, but in this healthy way, not a toxic way. So we can just be and sit, and energetically we are sending that signal that we are in our feminine essence. So the masculine, when he picks up that signal, it ignites something within him that he's like, oh, I need to pursue her. Like, okay, so this hero instinct, oh, okay, I need to fight for her. And the more men invest in a woman, the more attached they are to her, and they feel like they want to stick to her because they have something to fight for. If a woman is like just like sitting and being open and looking for attention, they don't feel like they want to chase it. They don't feel like they want to pursue it because there's nothing to fight for. She's already open. So what's my role? I want to open her up. I don't want to just like come and have this gift open already because what's that like? There's nothing for me in it.
Yeah. And there's this beautiful thing because I keep watching this girl on YouTube, and she talks about divine feminine and divine masculine energy. And she always says like, let's say the woman is like this, like the girl on the beach, and then the man is like, or let's maybe to the camera, it's like this when the woman is like this, and then she leans back. She's just, well, I'm just laying here, like I'm receiving, and then the man is like, ooh, I need to chase, I want to give to her. But if the woman is like, ooh, I'm gonna chase, like even you can chase, like there are women that are chasing men, but you can also be like with the energy, like, oh, let's see, everyone's looking at me, blah blah blah. Then the man tends to go back, like, oh, I don't want this, you know, ooh, that's too much or whatever. So it's this nice, I love this with the thing, because you can imagine, like, if the woman leans back, like, the man naturally comes forward.
And it's so interesting because you can spot it at the restaurant just by observing couples. You can see who's in their feminine, who's in their masculine. Because women, when they are in their feminine, they usually sit like we sit right now.
I'm trying to find like my feminine
balance. Yes, we are very relaxed, soft. We're just like waiting for the man to act or to talk or to do something. Usually men are like this. They lean forward. Because they are this active energy. They want to provide, they want to do something, they want to create the safe container, they want to entertain. This is when they are in their masculine essence. If a woman is sitting this way and I see a man sitting like this, I'm like, okay, there's a disbalance in energies. And I'm not saying that a woman cannot be in her masculine and man cannot be in a feminine in their relationship. But there's just something so magical when we go back in time and look at tradition and how men pursued women and what they did in order to get them. Because this created solid foundation for a relationship. Because nowadays we see this dynamic when men are more in their feminine, because women are so much in their masculine.
This shift.
Yes, they want to provide for themselves. They want to fight for their rights. They want to be right. They want to, I don't know, pay for their dinner or a coffee, as if they were trying to prove something.
I definitely resonate with that, because I remember being on dates and then we were talking about it at breakfast, and that it's still something that I really want to work on my money mindset. And this comes up a lot with feminine and masculine energy, because it's such a good topic. Because like I said, we're going on dates, and there's probably going to be a few more updates in the future. So stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. It's going to be fun. But so I want to date more like masculine men, successful masculine men. Because for me, like when I was in relationships or dating, I didn't feel worthy enough for the man to pay the dinner for me. I had this inner conflict. I was so much in my head, okay, but then, okay, when he pays, I need to give him the money back later. How are we going to do it? Oh, how awkward when the waiter comes. Do we say, yeah, let's split it? Or, I was so much in my head about it. And even talking about it, I feel this like, ooh, how do I deal with that? And it's like me taking control and me being very much not in this, but it is okay. Thank you, but I don't want you to fit. I didn't feel worthy enough to receive this. Okay, like we were saying a lot of like, it's an honor to be in my energy. It's an honor, to be on a date with me. And
it's enough.
It's enough.
First of all, it's enough, because we have to change this narrative when it comes to feminine energy and about women. It's enough that we just are. We don't have to prove anything. We don't have to show them that we are worthy of their attention, money, time, like whatever. I was talking to you today about it, and I was like, you know what? Just look at yourself and how much inner work you've done. How much you improved your standards. How much you're taking care of yourself now. This is what men want. The masculine wants it. The masculine lacks, because it's such a straightforward energy, it lacks this flexibility. It lacks nurturing energy. It lacks fulfillment. He finds fulfillment when he's in this nurturing energy of a woman who takes care of herself, because her energy is already emitting from her energy field and feeding him. That's why he can feel more joyful, more happy. When he looks at her when she's happy, that's all he needs. So it's this equal exchange of energy. When she's just happy with herself, she takes care of herself. She doesn't seek validation. She just is. And we were giving this example. We're comparing it to a white orchid.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a feminine energy is like this white orchid. It's beautiful. It smells amazing. And masculine energy, what he wants to do, he wants to just feed her. He wants to water it. He wants to make sure that this orchid is safe, that it has enough light. And that's when he feels needed, because masculine needs to feel needed in order to be fully present in the relationship. If a masculine doesn't feel needed, he doesn't feel obligated to do anything.
Yeah.
If a woman is fully in her masculine, he's like, so what should I do for you? Because I don't feel needed. Men need appreciation.
Yeah.
They need to feel like they are contributing to something. They are investing into something, and they can see results from it. And result is your happiness, your smile on your face.
Yeah.
So coming back to the example of a white orchid, he loves to just look at this plant. He loves the process of feeding the plant and taking care of the plant.
Yeah.
Because later he can just sit.
Yeah.
And this beautiful flower is, let's just say that this beautiful flower dances in front of him, and he just enjoys this.
Yeah. He's just sitting there.
Yeah,
like,
he's
oh,
just like
how
sitting.
beautiful is that?
Exactly. And
yeah.
this is energetically so nurturing for him that later on, when he goes and hustle at work, career, he always reminds himself, like, oh my God, he always recalls this feeling, how he felt when he saw that beautiful orchid dancing in front of him, fully in her feminine essence. Yeah. And this is coming back to relationships and this dynamic. Men love when we are in our feminine essence, our feminine energy, the soft, delicate, not needing attention, just being. Because especially if they are entrepreneurs or they work a lot, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, a lot of decision making. So they are very much in their head. Yeah. So when a woman can drop into her feminine and just be like, okay, hi baby, like, how are you doing? Okay, let me take care of you. Let me just bring you some food. And it doesn't come from this place of, I need to like make food for you because you cannot do it for yourself. No, she feels so safe around him that she wants to take care of him because he takes care of her. Let's say financially, because masculine energy is very much connected to materialistic world. So when a man is very much in his masculine energy, he knows that he has a need to provide for the family. And one of the ways is providing financially. So there's nothing bad about men paying the whole bill. I mean, in fact, it is important that they do, because later you can create this foundation, this solid foundation for the relationship to evolve. If in the beginning you make sure that a man feels that he's in his masculine, he's the one that will provide, that will create solid foundations for the family later, for the family to be created, then you can tap into this soft feminine essence, and this is how he ensures that his family, his children will be well fed, well taken care of, nurtured, happy, because that's what he wants. But if you split like 50-50, even energetically, you just send a signal, we are 50-50 in this relationship.
And especially if you start off like that, probably it's hard. I don't know if it's impossible, but it's definitely harder to get back to this. Okay, we started off with splitting, but now I want you to be the provider. I want to be more in my feminine.
Yes.
And this is before I wanted to talk about this as well, like in dating, especially when the woman takes over and then trying to fix everything and trying to control, or even like nitpicking on him, like, what are you doing, like bemothering him, then he's like, what the, like, I don't want to do it, like I don't feel needed, because she takes up this role. And then he's like, okay, then he pulls back, and then that's this dynamic which is talked about a lot, that the woman becomes the mother of the man, and the man is like this, okay, I don't know what to do, and then the woman is like, but why are you never planning dates, you're never doing this, because she took that role from the beginning, like, okay, I'm gonna plan this, and he's like, well, you don't need me anyway. So where's my place? I don't know where I belong, because it's
so in his I'm gonna tune into my feminine energy and then just receive.
Exactly, and then but she wants him to be in his masculine, but then it's like she's in her masculine, and then there's this mismatch again.
Yes, and I think it's very hard to escape this dynamic later on and shift the dynamic. It's not. I'm not saying it's impossible, because it is possible, but it's very hard to shift it. And I love the way we were talking about the feminine essence, that it can control. It is masculine controls, but I'm just saying, when a woman is fully integrated with her feminine essence, she can control the masculine to stay in his masculine energy. And I love that example when we were talking about how men invite women for dates. When you have this masculine energy, let's say a man who invites you for a date, and the way he invites you is like, if you would like to get a coffee with me, maybe we can catch up later, or what would you like to do? This is very much like, and he's probably in his feminine because he's not sure. You don't have this clarity. But if a man says something along the lines, let's grab a dinner tomorrow, He knows.
Yeah.
Decision has already...
I'm going to pick you up at 7. Be ready.
I'm going to pick you up at 7. Yes. Then you feel like, okay, that's nice. You can still react. It's not that he's taking the decision from you, because you can still react and you can say, I'm busy tomorrow, but what about Friday? And then he'll be like, yeah, okay, I'll be there at 7. So the way masculine communicates is very direct. He doesn't leave room for second guessing.
Yeah.
Because feminine is already so fluid, so flexible.
We love the word juicy.
Juicy, yes. So masculine always creates this container for the feminine. So masculine is very solid. He has frames.
Yeah.
He's like this pipe for the water to flow.
Yeah, we were talking about it at breakfast. I love that.
Yeah. So when a masculine knows what he wants, he's fully integrated into his masculinity, he's stable, and he knows that he wants to pursue the girl, he will always go for what he wants. You are like, if you're a woman watching it, you are his prize, and let him work on you. Don't take this work from him. If he doesn't want to do the work, it means he's not for you. Yeah. Or he's just not ready yet. And allow him space and time to become ready, to grow into the man that he needs to be in order to pick you up. And I love that example with raising boys and men. Maybe there are people watching it and they are in their 20s. So obviously, if you are a student, finances are a bit different. So sometimes men cannot provide. Yeah,
we can talk about it because we also talked about that at breakfast, which is important to bring up because it's easier to be in your feminine when you know the guy is successful, has a lot of money, and you can be more like, okay, I feel taken care of. But it's different.
We don't need to think about money because it's already pretty much clear, and you don't feel bad about it because he's okay financially. So you don't have to think who's gonna pay. Because obviously we women, we also feel bad for men who pay for us. Yeah. If we know that they are struggling with money or building their career. Let's say you're in your 20s, you are just a student at the university, and obviously you have certain budget, but you're not settled yet. Yeah. So we know that we cannot expect a lot from this kind of man.
What we were talking about at breakfast is that they can then still show up for you in different ways, or make sure, okay, you can talk about it. Maybe there's a conversation where you talk about it. Okay, let's go grocery shopping together. But the man can still, like you told me, the man can still treat you to a coffee or whatever. Or say, I really want to do this and this together. Still taking control and making sure, okay, I want you to know that I want to provide for you.
Yes. And I want to be in my masculine energy. And if you are raising a child and there's a man, a boy, and I don't know, I gave you an example based on my perspective. If I had a son, or when I'm gonna have a son, and he will, for example, he'll be 16 or 17, and he'll come to me and he'll be like, Mom, I want to take this girl on date, but I don't have enough money. Because, I want to take her to this beautiful restaurant overlooking, I don't know, a city or just, somewhere fancy. And I don't have money. Can you give me that money? And I would probably say right away, you are not ready to date her. Because masculine is very resourceful. He needs to find a way. Because you are the prize, so he needs to figure it out to take you on a date. Yeah. So if he doesn't, let's say with the money, if he doesn't have enough money, let him figure this money out. Yes, he's gonna take you for a coffee. Coffee is not expensive, but the more he wants to see you, the more he needs to try, the more he needs to be in his head in order to figure out, so how can I earn this much money to take her on this date? And it's not that we are needy. It's not that we need those fancy luxury experiences to be happy. No, we're just talking about just you're in your 20s, and obviously if you want to take the girl on date every single week, you probably need to think about finances. Yeah. But if you can't figure your finances out as a man, it means you're not ready to provide for a woman. Yeah. You're not ready to be with her. First, you have to build that masculine foundation, so you know that you can provide for a woman, so that she feels safe and she can bloom and blossom like this beautiful flower around you, because she will not have to think about it. Yeah. If a man doesn't have solid foundation, masculine foundation, the feminine will never feel safe and secure around him, fully safe and secure. Because we were talking, if we know that a man is already okay financially, he's stable, and it doesn't have to mean that he's a millionaire, but he's financially stable. And you said we don't think about paying for the bill because it's already obvious.
It's obvious.
And what does it mean? I feel safe. I don't have to think about it. So I can drop into me being happy and goofy and funny and just like, focusing on the nice moment we are sharing.
Yeah. And don't feel guilty for it.
Yes, but it's him building this foundation, providing the foundation.
Yeah.
Like, baby, you don't have to think about it. I've got it.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's even so hard when he would say that, like, don't think about it. Like, don't, like he's making sure, you're taking care of you. You just be.
You just be, yes.
You just be. And then, like the woman does, or like the feminine doesn't feel guilty for it, because for me it was a lot about guilt. Oh, but I know he has not, I don't know, he can afford it, but I don't, like, then you feel guilty and it's like, ooh, it's
but let him try.
Yeah.
Let him try. And I love to give this example. That's how I was raised. And I remember my dad telling me that sometimes back in his 70s when he met my mom, not 70s, 90s, when he met my mom, he was pretty much poor. And he said that he had to work 2 weeks in order to take my mom out on a coffee date, coffee and a piece of cake. But because he wanted to see her so much, he didn't mind working 2 weeks because he only had my mom in his head.
So
and this is how men invest. And we as women, we need to start feeling comfortable and confident that we need to allow space for men to work on us. And because we live in such a high speed century, we want everything right away, everything fast. We don't give men space to figure things out, to build this foundation.
The women these days are like, I can talk from myself, like micromanaging, especially then when let's say you give him the chance to plan a date or whatever. That's like, oh, but I would love to go somewhere else. I didn't like how you blah, blah, blah. But we're again in our control. And then he's again like, wait, let him prove himself.
Yes.
To show up for you.
Yes.
And you just
don't have to move into your masculine energy. So let's say that, I don't know, a guy is inviting you on a date and he's like, okay, I'm going to pick you up at 7. We are going to go to this restaurant that I really like because, it's
they
just
have
like
really good whatever
good
carbonara.
Okay. Or just like concerts and like music. And then you see that, I don't know, the weather is changing and you'll probably get wet if you go outside, and you're not sure what to do. Maybe we should change plans because for example, this restaurant is outdoor, so there's no rooftop, and you're a bit like worried. And how do you react? Because you don't have to take up this masculine role and say, okay, let's change plans because it's already raining.
Yeah.
No, you just send this delicate signal to a man, and you say, I'm a bit worried about the weather. What would you like to do about it? Do you have any plan B? I don't want to take up this, like, I don't want you to, I don't want to make decisions and change plans for us. And because I know that you have already planned it, so you give this masculine appreciation that he already planned it, but that you are also giving him a signal that you are a bit afraid and what he wants to do about it, and see how he approaches the situation. Because in this moment, he feels like this hero. Okay, so we are not safe, so let me figure it out, and I want you to be comfortable.
Let me take care of it.
I'm
going to do it, baby. Let me take care of it.
And he goes back to his mind, to his head, so he goes back to his masculine essence, and he allows the space for you to not worry about it.
And you can just receive the solution.
Yes.
He's like, okay, I saw that, maybe we go there. And I'm like, okay, that's fine with me. Yeah, so then it's this balance is created again.
Yes.
And there's where the flow comes in. I love this topic so much, and they're probably gonna be, maybe we're gonna do like another episode on it, because it's so interesting to see, especially in dating, and like how can you learn to be more in your feminine? Because like for me, I've been in my masculine my whole life. And so for me, it's really interesting to see, okay, how can I be more in my feminine? How do I text? How do I not control everything? How do I let go of control? So yeah.
I would love to hear people's feedback on it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we just tapped into a few topics, and maybe this is the way it was supposed to be, because people need different information. I don't know what this community wants. So it would be amazing if you could send us a message, or send Hannah a message, or just comment on this video and tell us what exactly you would like to know. Would you like to learn more about how to be in your feminine, or maybe what healthy feminine masculine looks like, or just in relationship, this dynamic, how it should be like?
Yeah.
Because we talked a little bit about tradition, and that women nowadays, they try to fight for their rights.
Yeah.
They try to prove that, okay, I don't need a man. I don't need a man to provide for me. But in fact, I have never met a girl that wouldn't like to be provided for.
Definitely.
If there are girls or women that fight for it so much and trying to protect themselves from being provided for, it is coming from a wounded space. They are trying to prove something, that they are self-sufficient, or they are strong enough and they don't need the provider protector. So it would be amazing maybe to talk about the old money lifestyle and the tradition that...
Yeah, and also nowadays with the feminism and like we talked about the independence, because it's important. Like obviously women should care for themselves and they can be a businesswoman, boss babe, all this. But then it's about the energy and like, because it's just this natural, like how it's always been. I don't know how you would say it, but it's in the energy. It doesn't take away from the women that they can be independent, because they pretty much should be like very much, okay, I know I could provide for myself.
And then you are using this masculine energy that is within you in order to create success.
Yeah.
But you need to know how to balance it out.
Yeah.
So when, I don't know, you enter the relationship, you know how to tap into your feminine.
Exactly.
So then your masculine man can step up and help you, provide for you, support you.
It's probably like it's necessary to find, okay, in business, you need to be in your masculine because you cannot only be in your feminine. So it's learning to find the shift. Okay, when I'm a woman and I'm in a relationship with a man, how do I tap into my feminine more? Because if I take this masculine from my business and then I bring it into the relationship, it's probably, if I want the man to be in his masculine, it's probably not going to work. So it's like how to find balance. How it's not easy, but it's doable. But it's how it's supposed to be. Probably it would be really nice, like, to hear the feedback, and I'm curious if they want to tap more into the topic of how to be more in your feminine, or just like how
to interact with a masculine, to make sure that he stays in his masculine.
Yeah, and I don't have that many people like probably I think like doing business and stuff, but this is also a nice topic to see how can you find balance, because in your business you also need both. You also need the feminine to be like in, because you hear all these business girlies say like, I make the most money when I'm in my feminine, because I'm like so focused on do. Obviously, if you want to build your business, you need to be in your masculine, because you cannot just sit and wait for the business to be built. So it's interesting how in different areas of your life, you need to have different energies that are more present. So it's a huge topic.
It's a massive topic,
and it can get in like so many different directions. But I'm glad we tapped into this whole thing, and it's so interesting. So let us know what you thought about the episode, and thank you again, Claudia, for coming on.
Thank you so much.
And I'm excited for all the future episodes. Let us know. Like, you can comment on Spotify, you can text us, or like send us a DM on Instagram. Everything is linked down in the description box or in the show notes, you say.
If you disagree with us, feel free to share it.
Yes, please. We love that. Like, let's have a discussion about it. Like, it's not that what we are saying like is the right or wrong thing,
or the only truth.
Yeah, no, there's so many different like opinions about it, and it's probably gonna trigger a lot of people. We'll see. I don't know.
But that's great.
Yeah, it is great.
We need triggers in order to find truth, right?
Yeah.
And we can just debate on it and see where it is coming from, where your belief is coming from.
Yeah, definitely. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yes.
Bye.